we just talked about. So this Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX archetype is seemingly cementing itself as one of the strongest archetypes to come out of the Cosmic Eclipse set.
Sure, and deck list looking fairly standard. Only saw a Fion as, I believe, the Cryogonal as one of the tech cards there. So nothing too wild, pretty standard deck list, and probably it does fairly well in the mirror match, but I don't believe he's going to be playing against the mirror match this time around.
No, I don't believe so. I believe we're just getting confirmation of the deck list here from Eder's side, but I believe he's playing the Reshiram Charizard GX deck, and yes, he is. So this is full-on, is called Ability Reshiram Charizard with like 2 copies of Reshiram Charizard GX, 1 Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff in there as well for good measure, just all the ability stuff like the Jirachi and the Denes and all that good, and the Ninetales and all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty standard list that we've seen. It looks actually almost identical to the list that Robin Schultz has been playing.
There is. Oh, there is a very interesting tech in here, though. We have to see 1 Ultra Prism Luxio.
Okay.
That's the one that blocks items, right? I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm going to have to look that up sometime. I haven't played with that one.
Yeah, I know. I remember this around about the time that Ultra Prism came out. I think it just does 30 damage and stops the opponent from playing items. That is a very interesting card to see.
Yeah, very cool. Nice tech inclusion when you're playing against some Dollstall. You can throw that in and yeah, good old disconnect.
Yeah, that's it. 1 colorless, 30 damage. Opponent can't play any item cards from their hand. So wow, that's a very interesting tech card. Not sure how much it will come in this matchup in particular, but as you said, he's probably put it in there just to have a stop those Lily's Pokédolls from being able to hit the field against that deck.
Right. Yeah, it's probably going to be computer or Pokemon communication fodder for a little while now. Yeah. But cool inclusion, and certainly could help out if he does reach the top 8.
Absolutely. So, Eder will be going first here. He opts to start off with that Pokemon communication, just grabbing out that Reshiram and Charizard GX straight away. Going to be very important to pad up as quickly as possible. Of course, this is one of those matchups where you do need your big, bulky Reshiram and Charizard GX to actually put some hurt into the opposing Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia. Oh, and a Welder start as well.
Yeah, this is fantastic. If you're able to get the 3 energies down on the opening turn, you know that you're going to be in a fantastic spot to combat one of these Arceus, Dialga, Palkias. You want to take down all those big hit points, and it looks like he's in a really great spot to do so.
Yeah, if he can just find 2 more Fire Engine.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow, the Dene GX as well. So a humongous start from Eder as he's able to draw 6 fresh cards, and as long as he can find 3 Fire Energy and another Welder here, he can set himself up for that Double Blaze GX for the 300 damage and take a 1-hit knockout on the Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia, and it looks like he's almost there. He just needs he's got the Giant Heart and the 2 Fire Energy. He just needs a Welder.
Yeah, I mean, when you get into this position, you know that you're going to be able to take a knockout before your opponent can accelerate energies, and if you get in that spot against ADP, you have to feel like you're in a successful spot.
Yeah, no kidding. Meanwhile, as from Francesco's side, as he starts off with a Tag Call, again, a very solid card to start with. He'll be wanting to look for maybe get himself a second Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia, a couple of supporters, just to set himself up nicely for the following few turns.
Yep, now, as Francesco, you know that you are going to be trying to set up your ADP, but getting those energies onto Keldeo can be pretty important. Trying to interact with the Ability Zard when they're playing these non-GX Pokemon can be tricky, so you have to like time it out and get it in at the right spot. This matchup can be pretty volatile.
Yeah, it can, especially because, of course, if you do end up using the Double Blaze GX with the 300, you take away your 1 attack that can punch through the Keldeo's ability to prevent damage being done to it by EX and GX Pokemon. So if you don't have access to that anymore, then all of a sudden, 1 Keldeo can be a strong enough wall to just see you through.
He grabbed Lucario Malmetal against an Ability Zard.
Wowie!
That is, that card better not come down.
Well, wait. No,
he's still holding it, but yeah. I'm scared.
Oh, that is the gorgeous full arts with the stone statue, Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia GX. That's such a beautiful card. I love that artwork.
Yes, very cool.
And that is an End Resolve being played. Only 1 energy hit from that, though, which is not really ideal. That's... Yeah, you really want to be hitting more than that when you play the End Resolve.
That's the risk you take, and I don't think he has a way to swap into the active. He does have that Tedene, so if he wants to get aggressive, certainly could go ahead and dump this hand and try to find a switching effect.
Yeah, in fact, sensibly, that's probably why he went to grab the Lucario Melmetal. He just wanted to get it out of the way, because like I said, there's no way he benches it.
Get this out of here, yeah.
And so with the Dene and GX, not a bad draw at all. He's got the Mallow and Lana, which is going to be very important for next turn. He's got a Jirachi too, which is actually pretty solid. Yeah.
Does miss the benefit of using this GX attack on this turn, but was able to put in a Chaotic Swell. That's going to slow down Eder a little bit.
Yeah, because that's forced him to put down the Giant Half just to get rid of it.
Right.
as we now see your Fire Energy onto the Ninetales, maybe just sort of giving up on the Double Blaze GX this turn.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's happening. Maybe this hand just can't do it for him. Might have to retreat to Jirachi and try to find a better way.
Maybe. The energy goes on the Ninetales. He's debating whether he actually wants to retreat.
He
or
has
not.
the Dene.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Maybe he's just worried about second Dedenne, thinks that he could walk into some great catchers.
Yeah, maybe, but it looks like actually, realizing, hold on, it's worth taking the risk here.
I think you have to risk it. Yeah, I think you're just gonna have to keep pushing, but he's
maybe
gonna go the other way.
Maybe it's just on the basis of that you can't play a stadium this turn, so he thinks, yeah.
He split it. Interesting. Yeah, this means no 300, and you're walking into great catchers.
Yeah. Oh dear. So. Yeah, this could run him into trouble right now. He's drawn pretty decently off the Dene, so next turn he should be able to, pull off that Double Blaze for 300, especially with the switch into the Jirachi.
Yeah, was able to find Jirachi along with the skateboard, so we'll have some options, but will not be able to have that 300 damage Double Blaze.
As we do see, the Cherish Ball come out of the Stellar Wish for Eder, he'll be able to use that to finish like a little bit more. Or maybe do a third Dedenne next turn if he feels like he needs to. But yeah, no Double Blaze GX this turn means that Francesco is safe for one more turn at least, and we could be able to either do an ultimate Ray next turn or just do the GX attack, do the Ultra Creation GX and just get that damage buff ready and going.
Certainly, yeah. I think the benefit of drawing the extra prize cards is going to be very important for Francesco. He's going to have to get to that 180 mark so that the knockouts start happening on the Dedenne.
Yeah, and that's going to be obviously quite important for him. Now, we know he can switch because, of course, he does have that Mallow and Lana in hand. He also attached the Lightning to the Arceus Dialga and Palkia on the active, though. Maybe just knowing, I'm always good GX in this turn, so I may as well spread my energies out. And that's exactly what happens. Yep,
just going to use that GX attack.
So now all of his attacks will do 30 more damage, and any prizes, any knockout he takes will be worth one extra prize card than usual. So now back to Eder, he's got the Giant Half. That's going to be really, really good for him. All he needs is a way to switch and a welder, and then as long as he's got an extra energy, he's good to go. And he's got it in hand, so he just needs welder now.
Yep, things are starting to line up. I mean, he's pretty much got everything he needs now at this point. Just gonna have to just put the pieces together.
Yeah, it just depends entirely on what he hits off the Stellar Wish. Because there goes the skateboard, and looks like he's gonna cut his own deck after Francesco's shuffle. I just go to the Dedenne first. Maybe wanted to just dig that little bit deeper before going for the Stellar Wish to try and find the welder. He knows he's got the Fire Energies guaranteed because of the Giant Half, so
Absolutely.
that's fine. What does he find? It's not much he needs.
Oh my gosh. Well, he certainly has the fires. Let's just say that.
Yeah, so he's still going to use a Giant Half to get 2 more out of the deck. Again, just thinning it out just to maximize that likelihood of hitting the welder.
Top card was a welder.
No!
Was so close.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Punished for good sequencing.
Yeah. It is one of the things that is important to remember, though, just because in an instance you were punished for good sequencing doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it.
Absolutely. Do it every time, but wow, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't even need to look up there. Just don't do that to yourself.
Yeah. I hope he hits it.
There we go.
Okay. Good.
Never punished.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you shouldn't have been punished.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there goes the welder, 2 energy onto the Reshiram Charizard GX, 3 cards drawn, and now Eder can take a really nice lead in this game 1 with the Double Blaze GX for 300 damage.
Yep. Also was able to find Turtonator, which is going to be a pretty relevant attacker following this.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So,
because Francesco doesn't really have a way to take a KO here, does he?
Right, and if he did find any bizarre way to bring up a Pokemon, it'd be nice to have something to combat it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this really depends on end resolve at this point. It's difficult to get the energies into play any other way.
Yeah, I mean the way that Francesco could maybe take a KO this turn if he had it powered up is obviously Keldeo will be doing 30 more damage because of the GX attack, so 140 doubling for weakness, 280 would be enough to knock out a Reshiram and Charizard, but that's nowhere near close to happening right now.
Yeah, we're quite a while away.
Yeah.
This is not one of those aggressive builds of ADP. He's not playing the energy switches, no Rayquaza, so we're not going to see anything happening too wild. Probably just going to have to depend on...
Oh, there's a Misty and Lorelei, though.
Okay.
So, yeah, and Eder having to pick that up to read what it does. Not going to be using it for its other effects, unfortunately. But yeah, it's the highest discard cost of any of the tag team supporters. You can use it to you just search for your deck for free water energy cards, but then when you play it, you can discard 5 other cards from your hand, and then if you do, you can use the GX attacks of your water Pokemon this turn, even if you've already GX this game.
Yeah, I have only seen this done with Articuno in Pidgeotto. I don't know a lot of decks that can afford to discard 5, just like it's no big deal.
I mean, to be fair, if it wins you the game because you can use a Resolute Blade after doing an Altered Creation GX, it's kind of hard to argue with that. But at the same time, it's just it's nice to have access to, and that's why you play it as a one-of. But I don't see it happening here.
Right.
So.
Well, the window is definitely open now for Eder. Just not sure what Pokemon he wants to target down. Could certainly use that Ninetales Temptations ability and target down. He looks like he's going to focus on the ADP, get some relevant damage in play, which I'm certainly a fan of.
Yeah, the one thing that's a bit of a shame is that if he had like a bench space free, I think he could literally just win right now with the Turtonator, or if he had a way of powering it up. But because his bench is a bit full, that's sadly not an option. So he's just going to soften it up instead with the Fly Strike, which is still absolutely fine. It forces a Mallow and Lana out of Francesco.
Right. And I don't think that Eder is really afraid of being knocked out at this point.
No, not at all.
So just attacking for 230 damage is going to be pretty impressive regardless.
Can't really shake a stick at that. So now Francesco is going to have to find some way to respond, but the problem is he, like you just said, he can't really KO this Reshiram and Charizard. He needs to heal this Arceus de Agua Palkia this turn. I'm not even sure if he has the means of doing that.
Yeah, his hand is not really helping him out. Does have that reset stamp though. It's going to maybe slow down Eder a little bit.
How did the End Resolve get discarded? Oh, did he discard it off half? Yeah, he must have done.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can't take the time off to discard everything and try to set up another Pokemon. Just going to try to find a way to accelerate energies, but at the same time survive?
I guess so. I guess the thing is with End's Resolve is that he physically couldn't play it then because obviously he has no Dragon Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to ever have another one out.
So him recognizing this just says, right, I just need to try and find some other way of powering up a backup attacker.
You're telling me he didn't think he had a fire energy in there? He's like, all right, we're done.
Yeah. So Eder taking just too much of a lead too fast in that game. Takes a very swift game one, and really with that double Age GX for 300, I think there's no other way that game could have ended.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like this is kind of how the match is supposed to go. Of course, we did see Eder get off to a pretty fantastic start, but he didn't even get the turn 2 300, which is what we've seen happen a lot from this deck. It can be very explosive. So this wasn't even Eder at his best. If we see that in Game 2 or potentially Game 3, I'm sure that we'd see Eder come out on top.
Yeah, it turns out you don't even need to get it turn 2. Even turn 3 is good enough just because it just puts Francesco back so much, and because you had to use the turn on the GX attack, of course, because that's very important to set yourself up for later, but then you're not ultimate raying, and so you get knocked out, and your engine gets wiped off, and it just kind of crumbles from there.
Right. For Arceus de Agua Palkia to really shine in this matchup, you have to get a pretty early GX attack, and then you have to follow it with Great Catcher Dedenne, Great Catcher Dedenne. I feel like attacking straight through these Pokemon isn't the way to do it. You have to be taking those extra prize cards.
Yeah, I could not agree more. So, and I'm sure that's what Francesco will have in mind as he goes into this game 2 after that first swift loss in game 1.
So, all right, let's try it one more time. And we know Eder is very aware that this is a possibility because he held on to that second Dedenne, and it took a lot out of him to put it onto the board, even though he knew this was going to be the main way that he set up.
Yeah, and I think it's important as well to sort of recognize that although sometimes you need to essentially give your opponent an extra win condition, if it means you find your win condition faster, it's still worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. He has to keep playing his game. Sometimes it doesn't matter what's across the table from you. If you set up, you're probably going to win. Yeah,
and that's exactly how it panned out in that game 1. So now as we go into game 2, it's interesting to see how these players both open up. Obviously, if Eder is able to get anywhere near as good a start as he did in game 1, he'll be in very good stead. But we can't forget that in this game, Francesco is going first, so we'll have like some extra turns to work with in order to set up that early GX attack, like you said, and just then set up his game plan of Dedenne KO, Dedenne KO.
Yeah, we could certainly see him do that. And honestly, I don't know if it's him going first that is more important, or is it Eder missing welders at this point? Because that is a really rough prize cards.
No. Double welder in the prizes. That is exactly not what you want to see, especially well, obviously finding welder turn 1 is important in all matchups, but especially in this matchup. That is brutal.
On the first deck search, he might look and go, yeah, game 3.
I mean, maybe quite not that bad, but yeah.
I've done it before. No shame.
Fair enough. Anyway, we are off here in game 2. Francesco again going first. His prize is looking a lot more manageable for what it's worth.
If you're picking up the body language, Eder just shakes his head in discontent. He's not happy with what his opening hand is, I guess, which is surprising. I don't know if his hand is as bad as his prize cards, but
maybe
he looked visibly upset.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out in like a few minutes. Either way. Oh, what is going on in that hand? I think there is a welder, but I don't think there's any way to access any energy. Yeah, welder, 1 fire. But
1 fire, some communication, but no Pokemon, perhaps?
Bizarre. I mean, to be fair, if he draws a 2nd fire energy for his turn, he's still golden.
Yeah, I mean, he before looking through his deck, he probably thinks, I'm doing great, but just wanted a little more out of it, I suppose. Yeah. Goodness.
Oh, maybe he's thinking, oh, I don't want to start Reshiram and Charizard going 2nd just because it leaves it vulnerable to a damage from an ADP. That's,
yeah.
You know. Okay. So here's a Stellar Wish from Francesco, able to find a Mallow and Lana after that. Not bad at all. Definitely going to be an important card to find if Eder is not able to get the 1-shot with the Double Blaze.
Yeah. Now to see the rest of Francesco's hand to see if perhaps he could get that Ends Resolve going. Just any way to accelerate energies. Does have that switch, though, so will have a way to get that turn 2 attack.
Discards the reset stamp off the Symphony and Caitlyn to draw 3 cards. Of course, no supporter in discard pile means that he can't use the other effect of it. But he does find, Hanaki's Dialga Palkia off that and the Water Energy, so not bad at all, to be honest.
Yeah, he's looking to be in a pretty great spot. Only missing energy at this point.
Chaotic Swell as well is huge. That means Eder has to actually draw a Fire Energy instead of a Giant Half now.
Yeah.
Oh, and he draws it!
Wow. I mean, you play 18 for a reason, but it's still nice when it happens.
That's got to be happy days for Eder as he now draws his 3 cards.
Is that his 3rd communication?
Oh
no.
Oh, okay.
What is that?
Wow, that's... Okay, I can understand a little bit more now why he was
upset. He's got a Cherish Ball, but...
no, but...
and that's his last welder.
He cannot in good conscience.
But he doesn't know this.
Like, oh, no. But he's got to spot it now. It's going to be very important to see if he spots this from, the Cherish Ball. He's going to look through.
I think if he sees that this is his last welder, he almost cannot grab Dedenne at this point.
Or rather, maybe he does, but he just doesn't play it straight away.
Sure.
Like, maybe he just hopes for another Giant Half next turn or something.
He's just frozen. He's like, what do I do? He has options with maybe Pokemon Communication, but I don't think he had a raw switch in hand.
No.
Does have a skateboard, but that's atrocious.
God, this is horrendous.
Oh, this is, He really needed to get that Giant Hearth, I suppose. But the Chaotic Swell countered that so beautifully.
Yeah, there's a really, really clutch that Francesco had that in his opening hand and made a dramatic difference to this turn.
He's grabbing Dedenne with a Cherish Ball because he's so shook. He's going to go ahead and show what he intended to do, which was communication. But
that works.
Yeah.
And I think he's absolutely correct to do this. This way he still has a bit of a consistency out, but he doesn't get rid of his last welder.
Yeah.
So very, very smart from Eder to recognize that. And now he's still on the back foot, though. This Jirachi needs to find something. And doesn't even have a switching card in hand. No, he has a skateboard.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Is he?
Oh, I think that's the raw switch in hand. But it was...
Oh, he is going for it?
Oh, goodness. He will have no way to accelerate energy for the rest of the game.
Well, until he takes his first prize cards, but yeah.
You think he's taking prize cards?
Well, no.
I mean, I guess he could.
Well, he can flash strike something, to be fair, so...
Sure. He would have to double blaze something if he wanted it this turn, which is terrifying. I would not suggest that.
Yeah, he is risking it on a biscuit as he goes for the Dedenne GX. And...
I think they're trying to say that he put the Jirachi in play, or they're just trying to clear that up, because that did look a little peculiar to me. I couldn't tell if he had picked it up or if he was done with his search.
Yeah, I think they're probably just telling him just be a little bit more clear with your intentions if you're going to do that again.
Absolutely.
Because it could look like it was benched.
Yep. Probably no malintent, but just how it looks.
Yeah. In any case, so Eder has decided to just discard his last welder, so it's going to have to be manual attachment. He does do the outrage for 30, of course, doubles weakness on the Jirachi, hits for 60 damage.
That's always one of those feels bad moments. You feel like a Reshiram and Charizard with 3 energies should be able to knock out a Jirachi without using its GX attack.
Yeah, sadly not the case. Now, something to consider is if he takes a... Who does outrage again next turn, for example, takes a knockout on the Jirachi, assuming that it doesn't get retreated, which it probably will, to be fair, then there is the chance of Eder picking out one of his 2 welders from the prizes, because one of them is in the bottom too. So going back to what you were saying in one of the other games about sort of prize orders, if he takes them from the bottom up, then he can pick one out.
Yeah, he should be in a fairly good spot. Now, as Francesco, this is where we're really going to see if he picked up on the body language and all of the odd choices that Eder had to make, because he could get a feel that there are no more welders left in deck. And if you do, then you approach this Reshiram Charizard with no fear, and you go straight into it. If he does think there are welders, if he thinks there's possibly even one more, it's terrifying to just bring up ADP into a Pokemon that could do 6 energy, knock you out.
Yeah, it is. But if Francesco is able to recognize this, then he will be in very good stead to take a commanding position in this game. Now, unfortunately for him, Stellar Wish does seem to find nothing. Only a bunch of Pokemon energy off of that, so no extra trainers off of that Stellar Wish. Does he have the means of retreating this Jirachi already, though?
Mallow and Lana.
Okay.
But I don't know if I saw the regular switching effect.
He
does have the switch there in the middle.
Which I imagine he'd prefer to use. He'd rather use it.
I would certainly like that, yeah. It looks like he has 3 Mallow Lana in hand.
Wow, okay.
And a Faba. Yeah, those are not the ideal support cards for this position.
No, they're not. But at least with the switch, he can guarantee himself the... Oh, was he? Is that communication?
Pokemon communication there.
Okay, fair enough. So, gonna grab himself another Jirachi. So maybe he's even considering just doing, another Stellar Wish and actually using one of Mallow and Lana. I mean, if you have 3 of them in hand, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he does. So just not discarding, just using it for the switch effect. Gonna do Jirachi again. This time he finds on a skateboard. That's really good.
Yeah, that's going to be helpful for him. Just allows him a little more access to cards as this game progresses. We'll be able to promote that every single time now.
Yeah, it means that he can now save that switch for later. Say, for example, if he wants to switch the Arceus Dialga and Palkia out of the active.
After it gets clobbered for 230.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, boy. So skateboard goes onto the Jirachi. Up comes the Arceus Dialga and Palkia. And, it's going to be Altered Creation GX. 30 extra damage and extra prize cards on knockouts. Now, over to Eder as he has to decide what he does now. There's a Giant Half. He discards the fire. No Chaotic Swell this time means that he will be able to actually have it stick and he can get 2 fire energy out of the deck.
Yep. I believe he has plenty of fire energies, but hasn't been able to do too much with them.
No, he's also shifting to the right slightly just so he has space to attach this for fire. So Flare Strike is now online for the Reshiram and Charizard, and I think that might just be all he goes for.
I mean, this is exactly what Francesco wanted to see. He didn't walk into a knockout. His opponent didn't do anything this turn besides play a Stadium card, so you have to be feeling pretty good.
Especially if you have a Mallow and Lana in your hand ready to heal 120.
Yeah.
Although the only thing about that is that I think the stuff that's in Francesco's hand is stuff he really would rather not discard. I mean, the Faba's okay. He's not that vital in this matchup, but it's like...
Do you want to lose all your Mallow and Lana for the rest of the game?
Exactly.
It's pretty rough.
To the point where he actually just goes to the switch, does not go for the Mallow and Lana.
This signifies he's probably not going to be using Mallow and Lana this turn then, because he doesn't care about removing any of the damage counters.
No, I guess not. Maybe thinks to himself, okay, if my opponent's, showing weakness in this sort of sense, maybe I just load up a Keldeo and I just know that my opponent isn't able to deal with it. As he does go for switch again, it looks like.
I think he knew. He's like, I'm going to use Ultimate Ray anyways. Outrage will knock me out, so who cares about this damage?
Yep. Ultimate Ray comes down and free energy go onto the Keldeo GX, and now it's going to be up to Eder to recognize what's going on here. He needs to find himself another Reshiram and Charizard and start powering it up.
Does find Dedenne, so could find some more Pokemon. He would love to find a Turtonator so that he could start to put at least 1 energy down. That means if he were able to find a Welder out of his prize cards, 3 energies from the 2 attachments from the Welder and 1 from the turn means 200 damage on a Keldeo.
That's true, actually. That's that's better. I like that more. So yeah, no. So instead of going for the second Reshiram Charizard, gonna see if he can find himself the Turtonator instead. Fortunately, looks like he's gonna have to detonate his hand away. Dedenne is the only Pokemon in his hand, so communication doesn't really help him if he wants to draw more cards.
Yeah, I do like this energy attachment because he just needs one energy on board. He's seen that he's going to throw away a few. Don't take the risk of missing fire energy completely and leaving yourself out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, he sees a bunch of Jirachis as well. That's going to be also really useful next turn.
And a Luxio.
There it is.
That's where you want to be, boys. Maybe not the ideal matchup.
Yeah. Plays down the Heat Factory as well, just he can draw more cards by discarding a fire energy. Build his hand up a little bit more.
Yeah, found another fire energy along with Cherish Ball, so he's finding some relevant pieces.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him bench a Jirachi so that he could perhaps get a Stellar Wish off and work that into a Turtonator play on the following turn.
Yeah, and it looks like he agrees, as he does indeed put down one of the Jirachis, and he preemptively plays the Cherish Ball as well.
Sure.
Just going for number 3.
Yeah. Maybe not the best play if your opponent has a reset stamp. That Cherish Ball is always going to be live for a Dedenne on the following turn, but wants to go ahead and get it out of the way now.
Or maybe he could even consider getting something else. I mean, there's Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff still in his deck.
Yeah, there's Heatran, there's Mega Lopunny, but they don't go through Keldeo.
No, they don't. And it looks like he does just indeed go for the Dedenne, but like you said, if he gets reset stamp now, he's going to regret that. He's got the KO at least this turn.
Sure.
There it is. Outrage. Takes the knockout. 3 prizes. Oh, he gets both of his welders. That's huge.
There you go. Yeah, he also had Palpad in there, so would have even been able to really increase those outs too,
Yeah.
but I'm sure he's fine with seeing 2 welders.
Yeah, got to be smiling there. So now it's back to Francesco as he promotes his own Jirachi, goes for the Stellar Wish, and just grabs a Cynthia off of that. He really just now wants this Keldeo to see him through. He recognizes weakness from Eder's side. He doesn't know that he's obviously pulled 2 welders out of the prizes now, but all the same, this Keldeo is going to be very hard for Eder to deal with because he's going to be nowhere near a Double Blaze GX.
Yep, beautifully done as well by Francesco. He had the switching effect, so he promoted the Jirachi without the escape board, now switches to the one with the escape board. He's going to get to see 6 cards, essentially 11, if he's able to find one of those helpful item cards here.
So there is another, well, I was drawing off of the Cynthia.
Missed energy?
Oh.
I don't know if that's relevant, but that doesn't feel good.
No, not at all. You want to be attaching an energy every single turn if you can. The Keldeo is powered up and ready to go, so
sure.
That's not as bad in that aspect. But yeah, like he's just gotten out a Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia with the Cherish Ball. We would have loved to attach an energy to it.
Yeah, I mean, if we see Turtonator on the following turn, you're going to be a little behind there, my friend.
Yeah, no kidding. So that may come back to hurt him, but we really don't know yet. It does really depend on how maybe this Stellar Wish pans out. Oh, there's an Ends Resolve.
Yeah, I would like seeing the Ends Resolve here. He does have the Arceus, Dialga, Palkia in hand, so if some wild effect did happen, he does have that YOLO out of grabbing 2 or 3 energies off an Ends Resolve and getting right back into this game, knocking out Turtonator.
And Francesco agrees. That's going to be the choice off of the Stellar Wish, so Ends Resolve goes to his hand. And I imagine he's just going to... Oh, he puts down another Jirachi.
Why not?
Yeah, just all the Stellar Wishes. And he could even put down the Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia as well, but maybe he doesn't want to in case of a tag team knockout out of nowhere for the game. Just just goes for... Oh, he has another switch, so he's going to retreat into a 3rd Jirachi.
Sure.
Why not?
I mean, you usually don't see reset stamp out of ability Zard, so go for it.
Actually, Joe, you probably could be digging for a reset stamp of his own, but if he plays it, we can double check that here. Yes, he does, so that's probably what he was digging for, but he did miss, unfortunately.
Good catch. Yeah, that would have been pretty impressive if he was able to grab that and take this knockout with the Keldeo.
Yeah, so a little bit of luck here from Eder's side as Francesco does miss the reset stamp off of 3 Stellar Wishes.
Right.
So instead, just going to be Communication, Keldeo back in the deck.
He ever goes for like Dedenne and really just pushes?
No, it looks like he's just going to grab. Is that Cryogonal?
Couldn't tell if it was Fion or Cryogonal. It was shiny and non-GX.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Fion.
Oh, of course. I got confused because it was it's foil, but of course the pre-release version of Fion is a foil. It's a foil card. That's why.
Very well.
Yeah.
Cool.
There it is. That Whirlpool suction ability. One we saw that really effective against Pidgeotto or Dolstall yesterday, but just general good utility card. So there's knockout 4 prizes for Francesco. off of this Keldeo.
It just reads, grab as many prize cards as you physically can.
Yeah, something like that. So with the Arceus and Dialga and Palkia on the board, I was going to say there's an opening for Eder to win this turn, but I don't think there is actually, is there? There's no way for him to get that much damage in this turn.
I mean, it would have to be Victini really going in. I don't think that we're near that point yet. As far as energies, we possibly are at the 8 or 9 mark, and that would be...
It'd be a lot, but it wouldn't be
good,
enough.
but not great, yeah.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, that's probably still what you go for, right? Because then at least you knock out the Keldeo, and then Francesco is left no energy on the board.
Right, he's eyeing up Turtonator right now, which could turn into a knockout, but yeah, you would put yourself pretty low on energies. Just depends if he thinks he could fish between the two.
Oh no, you know what?
I think 15 is in the prize.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, there it is. Oh no.
So it's Turtonator.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Go boy, go.
That is very unfortunate. I mean, obviously Victini would have been the more ideal one, but the nice thing is that Turtonator can still pick up the knockout. So he can weld the 2 to it, attach an extra, and then that will be 4 energy on board. That will be enough to get the KO on the Keldeo, but it just makes it a little bit more difficult, especially with only 1 fire energy in hand.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. This game could come down to end resolve on the following turn. See if Francesco could counter this big Turtonator knockout.
That is a huge heat factory. He finds 2 fire energy.
Wow.
That is exactly what he needed to see. Phenomenal. The heat factory getting him the clutch draws, as now he will have the welder. He does
have the giant hearth as well.
Yeah, his heat factory was giant hearth, 2 fire energy.
Oh my gosh.
Bananas. And you know what? Thinking about it more, doing it this way around is also really cool, because that means that he can load up the discard pile with more fire energy, and then no matter what comes out next turn, if you can fish the Victini out of the prizes, you can knock out anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the 66% likelihood of grabbing that Victini out of the prize cards after he takes this knockout here. He's probably got to play the odds.
I like the plan. Ed is doing the best he can to keep himself in this game, and it's like you said, Kyle, it could literally just come down to an ends resolve.
Yeah.
Ditto goes down 2.
Does have the switch, so this knockout is happening this turn.
Eder just making absolutely sure that there's nothing he's missing, anything that he could think about in order to prevent Francesco from being able to make a comeback.
Oh no! Who draws from the top? What are you doing?
Not like this.
Eder, why?
Oh dear. Well, I mean, Eder only has one more prize card left to take, so maybe if he has it, he can use. Next turn he can evolve to Ditto to Ninetales and drag something up. That was one thing he did pull out the prizes.
He found Great Catcher. Great Catcher on Dedenne with an end result for 3 energies.
That's the plan.
I mean, there's.
Well, no, he doesn't even.
I mean, I believe I've got the counts in my head wrong. I was looking at Eder's 3 prize cards, thinking Francesco needed it, but yeah. As long as this Turtonator is knocked out, it's over.
Yeah. Oh, no. There's a reset stamp from Francesco as well.
Yeah, it's obviously a better play there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
One
5,
more.
6.
Yeah. Does he have the water to go with it?
Let's see.
He does. Wow.
That's the game.
Well done. Both players putting on quite a show. Eder didn't have the welders to go along with any of how his deck strategy worked, and he still brought it right to the last turn. Very impressive. And Francesco able to find the end resolve, was able to give him everything that he needed and close out that game too.
Yeah, well, this has been a really good series so far.
Yes, really. Absolutely. This is exactly what I expect when we get to this late stages of the round. Amazing players, even if they don't have the big name flair, they're going to give themselves that flair as this progresses if they continue to give us play like this.
Yeah, they absolutely will. And now, as we move into game 3, there is still 17 minutes left on the clock, so I think we should still have time to see this complete and have an actual winner from here.
Yeah, this is exactly the 1/3 point. So we should certainly see a nice full game. And we do get to see Eder go first, which is where he loves to be. Maybe he doesn't prize 2 welders. And Palpad and Victini.
And Ninetales as well. Yeah, his prizes were actually really horrible.
Yeah.
Pretty big factor in deciding that game as well, because it's like you said, if Eder sets up exactly how he wants to, he's definitely favored.
It should be a wash. Yeah, just run over him.
Yeah, but as it stands, let's see if Eder can skillfully maybe prize better cards this time by just
put Luxio at the 3rd prize slot, because you never want to draw the 3rd one apparently.
Yeah. So So shuffling up is happening here. Got to be feeling pretty tense if you're sitting at the table right now. You know, one game apiece. You know that if whoever wins this is in either guaranteed or in a very, very good contention to make top 8. So a lot on the line here for these two players. And here we go. There's the handshake for game 3. 7 cards for Eder, 7 cards for Francesco as well. The opening hands can't quite get a good glimpse, but it looks like there is. Oh dear. Looks like there was an accidental card flip over as Francesco went to pick up the top of his deck. Reveal the metal energy by accident. Looks like the judges are okay to sort it out, but yeah, those prizes are fine for Francesco.
Yep.
He would like to have access to the great catcher. He only plays 2, but it is what it is. And looks like the judge is going to shuffle the deck there just to make sure that everything is good and proper.
To speak on what you hinted at earlier, Francesco is at 28 match points. Eder is at 27. So for Francesco, this almost means he's locked into top 8 contention if he does take the victory. Eder does have a little more work ahead of him. Potential ID in the following round, if he wins this, would be bubble, and he'd have to win the next round to guarantee top 8.
Fair enough. So that's what's in play here. Now, prize-wise, we did see there that Eder's prizes weren't anywhere near as bad as the first game, but the one important thing to mention is that he did prize both of his Ninetales, so his gusting options might be a little bit limited in the early game. But I'd still take that over 2 World Prize.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We are diving deep into this Game 3 action here in round 13. Eder does start off with that fire energy on a Vulpix, so no 300 coming out on turn 2.
No, definitely not. But, I mean, his start seems pretty fire other than that, because he's got Jirachi in the active. He's got a giant half down, which is really solid. He pretty much just, as long as he can find a Reshiram and Charizard, he should be pretty good to go for next turn. And there it is, but here it doesn't have a way to search it, just goes to the escape board, it looks like.
Looks like when he attached the energy for the turn, he played Dedenne following right after and lost a Dedenne and a switch along with a fire. So maybe limited on those Dedennes to draw through his deck aggressively.
Yeah, not ideal by any stretch of the imagination.
What is this hand? I saw 3 energies, a great catcher, and all right, Cynthia. Okay, good. I was getting scared for a second.
Yeah, it's a Scythian. Oh, okay. I thought it was Scythian Caitlyn. But
yeah, I saw the Cynthia and Caitlyn as well, but that's drawing 3 might not be the best here.
It's never a good feeling when you're sure if you hit the sport when you just start with like a lone active, just like attaching Cynthia. It always feels so dodgy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you pretty much give yourself what a regular hand would have been without playing a supporter.
Yeah. So there it is, Cynthia drawing 6. Okay, he finds a Keldeo and a Celtic Swell. He's actually found some decent stuff off of this.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be helpful. It's never fun when you find 2 Cynthia. It's just like irrelevant. But you have more options for the following turn. You can't complain.
No, not at all. So flips asleep, stays asleep. Stellar Wish comes out. 5 cards from the top. Looks like he's, you can see that Victini is available to him this game, but does just go for the Cherish Ball instead. He wants that Reshiram and Charizard GX.
Yep, depends how good this hand is. May have to go for another Dedenne. Yeah, this is probably his last one.
Yeah, because looking at the list, I believe you're right, he plays 3. I can confirm that here. He plays 3, so if he discarded 1 off the first Dedenne, then this is his last one for the game and the match.
Yep. Well, now we see why Eder didn't care about the flip. He had a skateboard in hand. He's like, I'm awake.
So Dedenne change is guarding a lot of stuff, actually, which is not great. And what is that hand?
He found everything, but what Pokemon? You just give them all to Vulpix and heat ran something later?
I think you have to, yeah.
You Turtonator them all off? I mean, honestly, they're really safe. They can't be great catchered off.
Oh, Cherish Ball. That's pretty good. They can get Heatran now.
Yeah, so he is providing himself with some pretty sweet opportunities here.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it's not ideal, but you'll take it over nothing.
Yep, looks like he's going in.
Yeah,
just so now.
So of course that Burning Road ability, when Heatran moves to the active, you can move as many fire energy from your bench to it as you want, and he's only going to move 3 across. Doesn't want to quite commit the 4 energy to it in case of some kind of knockout happening later. Oh no, he changed his mind. He's going to go for 4.
Yeah, he changed his mind right in the middle of your sentence. It was a little odd.
I know exactly why he's doing this. If he manages to get another Welder and 2 fires, he then has 3 on, and that means a Hot Burn could do 300 in one shot a tag team Pokemon. Yep. So just sort of preemptively thinking about that.
It looks like he chose not to use his GX attack. He's going with the Steaming Stomp there.
Yeah, because he wants to save it for later for a one-shot potential.
No, I like that.
I like that too. Meanwhile, Metal Energy goes down for Francesco, and then just another Cynthia. So he's got the GX stack at least this turn, so that'll be pretty good for him. But there is a potential for a knockout here if Eder's able to find... I'm trying to think what you need here. You need to weld onto something else, maybe a Turtonator, for example.
Yeah.
Because, of course, a Steaming Stomp for 130 won't get in there. That'll put up the Arceus Dialga and Palkia to only 260.
Yeah, this is pretty smart by Eder. He knows that this is probably the only turn, or maybe like there was like a very short window where Malolana wasn't going to be coming into play. So this is the only time he's really going to get to stick damage.
Yeah, and playing the tag call now as well, just to set himself up for next turn with probably going to grab himself another Arceus Dialga Palkia and maybe even a Mallow and Lana as well, just so that he has the switching out. No, actually just going to go for Lucario Melmetal and Arceus Dialga Palkia. Maybe just thinking, okay, yeah, here we go. So Cherish Ball is probably going to discard it with the Dene.
Yep, fair enough. That's pretty much been Lucario Melmetal's spot discard pile almost all the time.
I mean, great card, just not in this matchup.
Not here, yeah.
Yeah. Down goes the Arceus Dialga and Palkia. There goes Chaotic Swell as well for good measure. Eder can't be too happy to see that. And looks like, yeah, Reset Stamp gets discarded and a bunch of other stuff with the Dedenne.
Yeah, I don't understand why he wants to push so hard right now. He had Reset Stamp. He knows he's going to get knocked out on the following turn. It seems like a great opportunity to just wait.
Yeah, I mean, if you can... If Eder takes a knockout here, which, like you said, he will, and then you could just Reset Stamp him to 3, you could just completely lock him out of the game.
You know you're going to need to hit an Ends Resolve eventually to get rolling. You just maybe let Dedenne try to find it for you. Take that risk.
Did Eder draw a card for his turn?
That happened very quickly.
Yeah,
it did.
He probably just drew it off camera. But in any case, there's another energy going on to the thing. Oh, yeah, now he is forced to just use the GX now just to take the knockout. Can't save it for a one-shot later. But actually, to be fair, could the Heatran just get KO'd the turn anyway? No, probably not, actually, because the ultimate ray will do 180. So
yeah, 180 is just going to be a tad short.
But either way, knockout's a knockout, so it's completely fair for him to go for that. Especially because, considering all this energy, he's going to survive.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no! End Resolve complete whiff. That is absolutely horrendous for Francesco.
You don't want to do that.
No, you really don't want to do that.
That was bad.
Oh, good grief. And not only that, but Eder, I'm fairly sure he will have pulled the Ninetales out the prizes. So if he can just find Turtonator.
Yeah, he's Turtonator 3 energies away. He has Turtonator in hand right now. Will not have access to Giant Hearth because of the Chaotic Swell, but does have access to 1 energy. Doesn't have access to any more Dedenne, so won't be able to push any further. Doesn't have bench space for it either.
No. Yeah, he hasn't got quite enough Fire Energy in hand to do it now. Just Communication uses that Luxio.
Oh, so good. Living up to his potential.
Yeah. I mean, this is literally the most use it'll probably get in this matchup. There's a Victini.
This is a great call as well.
Yes, it is. If you can just go Welder to it and then do an Infinity, you could get a lot of Fire Energy back. So there's going to be, retreat into the Ninetales.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that is an attack.
I mean, if it gets knocked out, you just get more energies for your Victini.
Oh, wait. This 2 shots to Keldeo.
Yeah.
It's actually really solid. Well, especially considering it's quite clever from Eder as well, because recognizing that the Ends Resolve was a complete fail, he recognizes weakness on Francesco's side. So, yeah, now it's going to have to be a switch into Jirachi.
There was an opportunity if Eder had more energies to maybe use 9 Temptations and pull up the ADP, and then you know that he can't use Lana and Mallow, Mallow and Lana along with Ends Resolve in the same turn.
Yeah, that's true.
But he didn't have the energies to do it, so this is a pretty nice safety play.
Yeah. Right, here we go again. Take 2 with the Ends Resolve. Oh.
Well, he got 6 bad ones out of the way, right? Now he's just going to get too many energies. He's going to grab all of them and have none to pass around.
1, 2, 3. No, not like this.
Stop.
Oh, no. Oh, he gets 1. Okay. Still. What's going on?
What do you do with 1?
Does he have a Water Energy in his hand at least? No, he doesn't. No.
Oh. And I believe he already had attached for the turn 2, so he's just stuck.
What's going on?
Keldeo, take a hit for the team.
So Giant Half gets played just to get that Chaotic Swell out of the way. Looks like he's going to bench the Victini with a Fire Energy. Maybe yes, maybe no. No, he just goes to the knockout. Yeah. Flame Tail for 90, knocks out the Keldeo. I mean, all he needs to do is knock out Jirachi for the win.
Yeah.
I think
He doesn't feel like he's going to get knocked out. I really don't understand why you don't play the Victini. I'm kind of lost on that. If your opponent finds a water energy and reset stamps you, you could honestly lose this game.
Yeah, actually you could. And Francesco did he? Oh no, he had to go for the Cynthia. So because he did find a reset stamp off the Jirachi, but obviously thinking to himself that he needs to draw cards.
I want Francesco to find this water energy so badly, just so I can.
There it is.
All right, and reset stamp, man.
5, 6. No.
Not yet. Does he have any way to? I don't know if he's got a way to get into his deck. He does have Jirachi, but he won't have a switching effect at that point.
No. I mean, if he knocks out the Ninetales, he's still relatively okay, right? Eder's hand is actually not that great. It's still only 1 fire energy in there, and because he opted to not bench the Victini, means he now needs Welder as well.
Right, the Jirachi is forced to find the Welder for him at that point. It's just why take that risk?
So there it is. ADP, Ultimate Ray comes in, knocks out the Ninetales.
There's all those energies that you couldn't find on Ends Resolve, my friend.
Yeah. So it does mean now that Eder will need to find his 1 great catcher to take knockout as well, because all his gusting options are now gone because the Ninetales has been knocked out.
Very true. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's got 14 fires in there.
Could be.
It's been a long game.
He has. So there is the Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff. That also won't do enough right now. Do 240, be 40 short.
Yep. I believe we saw 5 fire energies in the deck. With 1 not being prized, that means that he has access to 13 or so, but no Dedenne to get them in the discard pile. Does find Welder here. Yeah,
that's pretty good. Does he have enough energy to? I guess he can Welder 1 and attach 1.
Yeah, and I think he needs to find the great catcher for the Dedenne.
Yeah, that's the win condition, or even just great catcher for. Oh no, I was gonna say great catcher for the Jirachi. That's not how that works. Ignore me. Yeah, he needs to find a great catcher to get the Dedenne out. And that will take him the game. He's definitely got enough fire engine discard pile to knock out with the Infinity, so it's just going to come down to this, really. Yeah, definitely enough fire.
Yeah, that was a pile of them.
Yeah.
He's going to count it out for us. 7, 9, 11, I think.
Enough, in any case.
Yeah, a number that's not 14.
Yeah.
But is plenty.
Yeah. Oh, he actually has 2 fire in hand, so he can just weld them both on.
So, whoa.
What?
Cool.
Wait. Oh, he can use the GX attack if he can get enough energy on. Just do 200 snipe. That's it. I think he's got it.
I mean, you need 4 extra energies. It's a lot. He can put him to sleep. Jumping Balloon is going to do 240.
Actually, no. In all fairness, this is still fine because Francesco can't knock out this Mega Lopunny and Jigglypuff, come to think of it. It's actually a pretty safe play. There's no way Francesco wins this turn, right?
Yes, he should be. He certainly should be safe here. But I mean, Keldeo promote and attack into this Mega Lopunny and then follow it up with a knockout. Francesco could just clean the game up with Great Catcher if the Lopunny tries to run away.
That's true. And then if Eder finds another 2 fire engine and another welder, you can just obviously take the win that way as well with the puppy smashers. So
sure,
it's a different line, but it can still work.
Yep. I mean, I don't know if he was ready to go in on the other line yet. He knew that he didn't have access to the Great Catcher, so it kind of throws that plan out of the window.
Yeah,
but is it worth risking all these prize cards here?
That's the question, isn't it? So Malonana comes in, does opt to do the discard, so we'll heal down so that Francesco's ADP only has 120 damage on it. Now we see a Stellar Wish who really wants a reset stamp, and there it is.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty huge here.
That's exactly what I needed to see. Eder's going to go down to 1 card in hand.
And he needs a welder combination if he wants to snipe the ADP off of the board. You don't find that off 1 card typically.
No, he would need to. Here's exactly how it would need to happen. It needs to be draw welder plus fire, and then
another fire following.
That's the only way that works. 1 card. What is it? Oh, he didn't show us. So here goes.
All right.
Sonic Edge, 110. Huge top deck for Eder. What does he find? He has to retreat at this point. Yeah.
Does he ever treat Great Catcher Heat Ran or no? Nope. Doesn't look like that's the option.
Yeah. No. He just retreating the Lopunny. Goes for the Stellar Wish. Finds Communication and something else. Cherish Ball.
And he doesn't have a Dedenne.
Oh dear. Oh dear. that's really not ideal. Goes to the communication off of that, though.
Has already retreated for the turn, so no second Stellar Wish unless he has a switching effect in that small hand.
I mean, Francesco doesn't have a great catcher in his hand yet, but if he gets one, then that's going to be pretty sad news for Eder. Communication gets played, and now the Victini comes out with the Reshiram and Charizard going back into the deck. And there goes the Victini. God, this is on an absolute razor's edge right now.
Absolutely.
One of these two players is going to walk away from this a win. I don't think we're going to see a tie from this. I mean, we're pretty close to time being called, but I think we have just about enough time to see this match pan out fully. And it looks like it's going to be a... Wait, didn't he already retreat?
He's already retreated.
Yeah, no, he can't do that.
Yes,
Eder has already retreated this turn. He cannot do this. This play's illegal. Eder has already retreated this turn.
So we'll get that checked out. So we'll hopefully the judges will call that out for us soon, because we are going to need that play to stop. But super important part of the match.
Yeah, I really hope the judge noticed this. Plays proceeding now, but yeah, I don't think we've talked back to the team now that they know we're going to get the judges to look at this just to make sure that everything happens as proper. And yeah, oh dear, it should be such a shame for the game to end this way as well, because it's been a really close match. But yeah, you can't retreat more than once in the turn.
Yes, exactly, and it's unfortunate. You don't really think about it when you have a skateboards on Pokemon. You kind of just are so used to freely moving around on the board, but that did already occur.
Yeah, and it's like, play is progressing right now. That's just play's progressing right now, but we know that the game state has been, I don't want to say ruined, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just
it's basically irreversible at this point.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Well, let's see who wins this game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Say in a hypothetical scenario where
this imaginary yet current game that's happening. Right here.
Where you're allowed to retreat twice. Oh no. Yeah, there's Victini.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah, he's got. He's got well done.
Found fire as well.
Yeah.
He thinks he won.
No. That's sorry, Eder. That's not how you retreated twice. I'm sorry, that would have been the game, but he retreated once with Mega Lopunny and once with the Jirachi. You can't do that.
Yep.
And no, they can't see the energy. That's not the issue here. No, that's
Let's assume there was a switch.
I guess. But
I'm fairly certain, unless it was off-camera switch of the Jirachi that we missed, then that would have been something. But if not, we absolutely saw the energy come off of the Mega Lopunny for the retreat, and then the following skateboarded Jirachi retreating as well.
Yeah.
But